Clean, reliable and affordable energy. That's the ambitious goal behind the independent power producer Pine Gate Renewables. The company now has a fleet of more than 100 solar and storage facilities with operations in 30 states across the US.
We love coming to places like this. My family often visits them for our holidays, and that reminds us kind of what we do, why we do what we do.
Today, I'm joined by David Gro, Senior Vice President, to talk about how their solutions are helping to drive the energy transition. David, welcome to Davos. It's wonderful to have you here joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Now, the energy transition, it's critical and it needs to happen. So walk us through, how is Pine Gate Renewables really doing its part?
Pine Gate is an energy transition company. We've got about 30 gigawatts of projects in development across the country, 3 gigawatts in operation, and we're really focused on one thing: fulfilling our customers' decarbonization goals.
The company has clearly come a very long way. And fun fact, you joined the company many years ago and you were one of the first hires. Where do you then think is something that is a measure of its success? What do you think is something that defines, look, I've had a great day and I'm doing the job well?
Yeah. Well, Pine Gate is developing about over 30 gigawatts of projects in the country. We have 3 gigawatts operating, renewable solar and storage projects operating. And when we look at the needs of our customers, like I said, utilities, technology companies, we've really seen scale in the needs for more volume as these especially tech loads and data centers come in. And so we've gone and built out that pipeline in a very big way. We've gone to larger projects meeting that demand. And when I think about the most important attribute of success for the company and for the industry, really, it's execution of those projects. These technology companies and utilities really want to see projects show up for their needs and for their demand. And so we work very hard to see projects through. We're not just
talking the talk.
Yes, exactly. We're not just developing projects and hoping for the best. We're really driving with our partners the success through overcoming hurdles. And there are hurdles you can imagine around every corner, from regulatory to interconnection challenges and timelines. And so we're constantly working to overcome that, and we work really closely with our partners to do that. But execution, it comes down to execution in this space. We really try to focus on a seamless vertical in our business, where we not just develop the projects, we raise the capital, we finance them, we construct them, we operate them. And so we're a long-term owner-operator. We have an owner-operator mindset in these projects, where we take everything and really focus on the long-term success of the project. And so it's fun to think that way. That's a big transition from when I first started, when we were just developing projects. And so now we have the whole suite of activity that goes into the success of a project. So it's a lot of fun.
I think in this conversation that we're having, it's also critical that we touch on the fourth industrial revolution. Clearly a huge topic at the World Economic Forum. It's creating unprecedented energy demands. How do you see Pine Gate in this bigger picture?
The demand is insatiable. It's incredible, the amount of new demand that's coming, especially from data center development, supporting the AI revolution. So in the US, demand has been right around 4,000 terawatt hours a year. And that's been pretty flat over the last 10 or so years. The new demand that's coming in represents a huge increase in that current demand, about a 20% increase, a lot of forecasts show. And so you have what's been a pretty flat energy demand now being bombarded with new demand. And so the needs of energy companies, energy transition companies like Pine Gate have become, it's just been increased by, tenfold. It's the amount of projects that are required to fulfill this demand becomes really impactful. And so Pine Gate has doubled down. We're doing a lot more developments. We have a strong team of developers citing new projects. Like I mentioned, we not just develop, but we've raised the capital, we build the projects, we operate them long term. And so we've transitioned our model to just developing projects to being part of the whole success of the project. And that's really been a big impactful.
I think for regular individuals like us, it's still really hard to comprehend how much terabytes or terawatts and gigawatts we're really talking about. Maybe give us an insight into the size and scale and what this really means.
Yeah. So if you think about, I think a good comparison is one data center, one major data center that could be coming in is in most cases larger than a typical city in the US. And so you have little cities coming in across the country. You could be in the middle of Texas, and what was once, an area that wasn't overly industrial or a manufacturing hub is now becoming a data center hub. And so you have a lot of that kind of growth, a lot of those pockets, literally little cities popping up, and they don't look like cities. There's not, an incredible amount of infrastructure around them, but it's literally the amount of energy demand coming from these data centers is the size of a medium-sized city in the US. So it's incredible how much demand that is. So you have those coming in everywhere. It doesn't even matter what state really you're talking about, that demand's coming in.
That, of course, all makes you a very busy man. At the moment, you are negotiating billions of dollars worth of contracts with some of the world's largest companies. What are their priorities and what are they saying to you?
Yeah, their priorities are renewable energy. These loads that are coming in, they are requiring renewable energy. And they're looking for companies like Pine Gate to fulfill that need. And so when we're talking with these largest organizations in the world, like you're talking about, they're really looking to us for the execution. They want to see projects come to fruition. They want to be able to rely on renewable projects coming to fruition. And that means that we have to focus on that execution piece. We have to develop projects. We work with communities. We work really closely with the communities that we're in. We work really closely with the utilities that we work with. We work with all of our neighbors and the landowners very closely. So it's a stakeholder engagement process that brings these projects to success. And so that's what these organizations are looking for: execution, creativity, flexibility, an owner mentality, which we have with our projects, and that's what makes these projects successful.
So what I'm ultimately hearing is that decarbonization is really a joint effort. You cannot go alone. How then are you really engaging with these stakeholders to achieve this?
Yeah, we work really closely with every community that we're in. We like I said, we're developing the largest proposed solar and storage project in the country, and that takes all stakeholders to engage in the success of a project like that. So
not just the big tech companies.
Not just the big tech, no. We work from...
You're on the ground as well, speaking
That's
of
right.
utilities.
That's right. We work with the big tech companies as well as the neighbor that's been there for the last 200 years and is interested in what we're doing and how these projects work. And so we work very closely with all these stakeholders. And at the state levels as well, with state commissioning bodies that look for us to also engage with the communities and the state. So we work with stakeholders around the clock to make sure these projects are successful.
David, let's finish up the conversation by focusing on solar energy, a big part of the company. It's reliable, it can scale. So the million-dollar question is, do you think it's going to be the backbone of the energy transition? What are your thoughts there?
It is becoming the backbone for sure. If you look at the queues in the US, the amount of solar penetration and storage penetration is incredible, beyond, I think, imaginable even just a few years ago. And so you have an incredible amount of solar in the queue waiting to get through interconnection, waiting to get approvals at the local level. And the question will be, how many of those projects will be successful? We think Pine Gate is really well positioned to have success in our stakeholder engagement processes, the way we work with our customers, and a partnership approach to development. But that is the million-dollar question, how much of that comes to fruition? Because right now the queues would show that it is absolutely foundational to the success of renewable penetration. And a company like Pine Gate, and I personally think that a lot of those projects do show up. A lot of that pipeline comes to fruition and supplies a good portion of the US energy needs.
Well, David, I think it's only going to get busier from here for you and the company. So good luck with that. And thank you so much once again for joining us here.
Thank you so much.
Pine Gate has made its name as a national leader in clean energy with more than 30 gigawatts of projects in development. But they point out they are just one piece of a much larger puzzle in achieving decarbonization.